Look, they bout to look at the shit that I'm on. Why don't we get in topic? Crew looking like pentatonics, locked in, recording in tropics. And the East Big 3, Big Bron, CB, way good, he working on optics. Thought biz while smoking exotics, speed lit, never thought about it. Just live by the look at the shit that I'm on. Why don't we get in topics? Sitting way back, all black, I'm talking. Feeling like Shaq, I weigh my options. And the East Big 3, Big Bron, CB, way good, he working on optics. Thought biz while smoking exotics. It's saucy, all the projects. It's saucy.
What's up? RCR Presents MSD Sports, and we back at it for episode 25. Let's go. My name is Sam, also known as YBK, and we got Mikey over here, and we got Camden Kippen over here. And let's get it, Mikey, introduce yourself, Mikey, introduce yourself.
What is good, everybody? It's your boy, Michael John. You can find me on Instagram at Michael John DeStefano. I'm back with the boys. We talking baseball today. Let's get it, y'all.
Yes, sir. Camden, what's up?
What's going on? You know, it's your boy Camden Lee, a.k.a. Mr. Club Paradise. You know what it is. You know where I'm at. MSD Sports, the greatest trio ever assembled. Episode 25, quarter century. Can you believe it? We're already at 25. We're going to get to 100 pretty quick. Like, this is going to be so fast. Like, oh my goodness. But I'm with the crew. I'm with the boys. YBK.
Yes, sir.
I heard we might be switching up the flavor today. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got my little apparel on, but I'm just wondering what's going on.
Yes, sir. In 24, the Kobe app, I got that blue Yankee one on, but today, got the pinstripes on because today's going to be a special day for everybody. We're going to deep dive MLB app today, everybody. The agenda is going to be MLB, and MLB. Yes. So let's go. So this one is going to be a little interesting. We're going to go to each division and kind of like, you know what we want to say on each division on the teams over there. So we're going to start off with the National League, and then we're going to go to the American League, and we're going to see what's up, and let's get it. I'm so excited, guys. Let's start off with the National League, guys. And I feel like this division, the National League East, this one particular team made a big splash in the offseason that we talked about in our pod. And they made so many moves. And let's go to the National League East. And I want to talk about these New York Mets, guys. And I mean, these New York Mets, come on. They took away my man Juan Soto with the 15-year deal. And they got back their polar bear. They took another Yankee, turned him to a starter. They signed a lot of, re-signing. And man, they looking pretty good in the East. So let's get it. How do you guys feel about these Mets this offseason here?
I mean, guys, I think the Mets, in terms of the NL East, is one of the big names to look at in terms of the beginning of the season, in my opinion. Looking at kind of this crew, you know what I mean, with the free agents, you know what I mean, we talked about Soto, we talked about Alonso, but JD Martinez, a player who has bounced around to a couple of different teams, but really knows how to play winning baseball. I think the Mets are really gearing up for a possible clash with the Dodgers. I think these two teams are really kind of competing with some stars, and I think with the addition of Juan Soto, oh my goodness, I think their bats are going to be flying. Mikey, the real question, I'm looking at the starting lineup in terms of the pitchers and the acquisitions. How do we feel about the pitching for the Mets? You know what I mean? A lot of one-year deals I see. So I'm not sure if they're thinking long-term for the pitching, but the batting for sure.
Well, I like that they kept Manea, right? You need a nice lefty, and they got Clay Holmes, but you are right. They lost Severino. You know about Severino, Sam. I know you know about that. So it's hard when you lose, I feel like, some players, but at least they kept a few. So it's going to have to be carried by the bats, I feel like, right? You got Juan Soto coming in. I'm sure we're going to bring up his name again later on this episode. It ain't going to be just this segment. And Pete Alonso, big bat. What's his name? Lindor.
Yep.
As well. Yep. Like, we talking about like a bona fide MVP candidate as well. So I feel like we'll have to see how the pitching plays out, because that's going to be probably where the team is going to need to shine the most. They got the bats already.
Yeah, I feel like you're right because this pitching here. I want to talk about this pitching here with starting pitching and rotation about the Mets here. They signed Yankee closer Clay Holmes, so he's been in the bullpen almost all of his career. And then now, when the Mets signed him, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna transition him to become a starting pitcher." And that
Mm,
was a question because this guy, he's a sinker ball pitcher. He can definitely get you out, but he can definitely get smashed. So
mm.
I don't know on what they're thinking about. Maybe teach him a new pitch, teach him another way of try to get people out, or I don't even know, refine the sinker. But and now they're saying he's the opening day starter. I'm very confused here, guys. You're telling me a guy who never started now he's gonna be kind of like your ace, kind of ace figure of your squad. Believing in him for an opening day start.
Mm.
So this is a question here.
Well, I mean, I can kind of understand their thought process, right? The same thing that we just saw on the international opening day, in a sense. You got guys pitching 3, 4 innings. Another guy might pitch 2 or 3. Another guy might pitch 1 or 2. So I'm not expecting, in terms of Holmes, a long stretch of a start. Maybe I'm not thinking he's gonna 6 or 7 innings. Maybe 4 or 5. Maybe 4. Um, but here's the thing in YBK. This is the thing that I really wanted to kind of really talk about. Looking at kind of where the contracts are, this Holmes deal was a 3-year deal. So it is very possible that this first year they're like, okay, we're gonna see how you do pitching maybe 4 or 5 innings and seeing your stamina growing up. Then kind of from there we can see maybe the following year we can maybe teach you another pitch and see how that goes. But we can really start to see if he can, let's give him out a first day start. Let's see how long he can go. Let's see what his stamina looks like. And then at least we know what we're going to deal with for the rest of the year. Mikey, do you feel like that's smart? Kind of just to, you know what I mean? And a guy who's kind of transitioning? Or do you feel like opening day should be reserved for that ace and that guy who really holds down the fort for the pitching staff?
I don't know who they have though that's really like that. Like, I mean, I guess I might start Manea then first if you look for like reliable, but
But they do have
maybe
Senga, the
Senga.
Japanese guy.
Oh
They have.
yeah, yeah. If I'm them, to be honest, I would probably just leave it as is because maybe if you want to see what someone's got, like what better day than to prove yourself than
Mm.
opening day. Let's see what you got. Even if it's 4 or 5 innings, right? 4 or 5 solid innings. So yeah, I mean, we got to see.
Do you think?
You're right though. Senga is good. The Japanese pitchers don't be playing no games, bro. They don't play games,
Yup,
bro.
yup.
Mm-mm.
Do you think the Mets starting at away in their opening day this year kind of affects that and like kind of saving Senga for the home opener kind of thing? You think?
I didn't look at it like that. That's also highly possible.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, Holmes goes out. You know what I mean? Walks 5, has 6 earned runs, and only does 4 innings. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Best case scenario, he has 4 strikeouts. Two walks and 1 or 2 earned innings in a 5 inning stretch. So
Mm.
we kind of saw this with the Dodgers. You know what I mean? With their one of their pitchers, a younger guy coming in from in the Japanese series. He again, one of the biggest stages. His first kind of career start. It wasn't opening day start, but it was something that was big, and he was starting. So I mean, I think it's good. I think pitching is going to be something that we're going to be talking about all season, especially when it
Yeah.
comes to the MLB. I think pitching is going to be like, oh wow, like the strategies, how these managers decide to maneuver the bullpens. I think this is one of the things where the Mets are kind of peacemaking their bullpen right now. We'll see what's up.
Mm.
They're not going to need it as bad as some other teams because their power hitting is just that good.
Right.
That's what I think. Like I'm not as worried for like a team like the Mets, but they have a lot of pressure being in New York, and they kind of had like a down year after being in the World Series the previous, right? So I feel like the pressure is there to succeed, and that pressure makes diamonds, but pressure also makes pipes bust.
So it's like basically if their offense can take, because I feel like their offense did get better with the addition of Juan Soto from last year, and last year we did see them go to the CS with against the Dodgers, and they did get eliminated. But with Juan Soto now, the offense definitely got better, and they re-signed Alonso. So yeah, let's see if this offense can take them back and kind of prevail against them Dodgers, you know, 'cause that's gonna be a tough mountain to face in the National League before you even go to the World Series. You know, you're gonna do a double World Series kind of. That Dodger series is gonna be your World Series, and then you're gonna go to the real World Series after that.
Yeah.
That might be even harder than the first one.
I'm wondering in terms of like when we're looking at other teams in the NL East,
Yeah.
like the Phillies. For
Oh,
example,
let's go,
right?
let's go. Yeah.
When we're looking at these guys,
Mm.
like we're seeing some of these acquisitions. Okay, give me 10 seconds. We're seeing, you know, sorry about that. I'm seeing these acquisitions, and a lot of these guys are infield players. You know what I mean? Guys who are playing in the field, not necessarily pitching. Do we feel like the Phillies are a team that is kind of gearing up to fight against with the Mets? Like how are we feeling about that? You know what I mean? I know we had a right hand free agent that came in. We got Kepler that's here. You know what I mean? Again, we got some more pitching that's coming in. Like, are the Phillies a team to look at, or kind of just making some noise?
Yeah, I feel like Phillies are also is a team that can make noise, playoff contention team for sure. Like look at their roster. I feel like with like Schwarber, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, like which is like Kepler and Real Muto, that catcher, that all-star catcher. You can't say you can't just pass on this offense here. And Nick Castellanos, like I mean, they have a great offense that could definitely do damage. And I feel like the question here for the Phillies is they have the correct pieces in their rotation with Wheeler, Nola, and Sanchez, but it's more like what their bullpen. I don't think they have a deep bullpen to kind of lead them to a deep playoff run. Mikey, how do you feel about these Phillies here?
I mean, I think if we're looking at like what the MLB and what people think in general, the Phillies are the number 2 ranked team going into the year. I mean, the only team that's ranked above the Phillies is the Dodgers, which says a lot, right? I think you pointed out the biggest question mark going in is going to be how are these relief pitchers gonna play? And a relief pitchers, I feel like, is really like by the year, because the names, like you said it, Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, is going to be great, like starting rotation pitchers. Can Christopher Sanchez actually be like someone who 15 wins, 200 innings? Like who can he be that person?
Reliable, yep.
To carry, you know what I mean, your starting rotation and to fill in on those days where like the bona fide starters don't. But I'm looking at the bullpen, and it's like you look at like, Jose Alvarado is slotted in there, right, for as their main relief pitcher. I'm like, let's see what he can do. Like, I mean, I'm not so sure if I'm like feeling reliable in like some of these pitchers, like for like what they did last. You know what I mean? I trust more the starting rotation than the bullpen here. But they got big bats on this team. Yeah. Their window's closing, right? Like the window ain't gonna be open forever.
They're only
a lot
gonna
of these
get
guys
older.
getting older.
Yep.
And that's why I bring up Philly in terms of, because I'm seeing the Mets they were kind of bolstering up, and I'm seeing Philly kind of be like, okay, let's address a couple of our holes that we need. We already have the bats that have the cohesiveness. Like, let's really try to see, okay, what exactly is going to be the right combination to make sure that we get, again, past the Dodgers into the series. You know what I'm saying? It's a very interesting situation. I think the Dodgers create a kind of this arms race, you know what I mean, for teams where they're really saying, okay, how are we going to, either manage the best, hit the best, or pitch the best. And I know the Phillies have one of the best pitchers in the game today. So, I don't know. This NL East is tough, guys. It's tough. It is a tough.
We gotta talk about one more team, other team in the NL East, the Atlanta Braves,
who's also a better team than the Mets.
I feel like, I mean, Chris Sale won Triple Crown in the National League as a pitcher last year, and he won Cy Young last year, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Chris Sale is a Cy Young winner with Spencer Strider out last season. But this man, Spencer Strider, came back, and he was the ace of the Braves. And I feel like now Chris Sale's like, all right, you've been out for a bit, but I did my job. I got the best award anyone can get. So right now, I really love that competition. But in the talk to this rotation, I really want to talk about one player, Spencer Schwellenbach. I have some high hopes for this guy as a rookie. He's coming off his sophomore year. Last season, he started 21 games. He went 8-7 with a 3.35 ERA.
Okay.
But I feel like this youngin, he has full potential. So I feel like the Braves is only going to get better in the rotation with the addition of Strider coming back. But the thing about the Braves is, guys, when's Acuna coming back?
He's gonna miss a bit, but I know I'm gonna talk about him later too.
Yeah.
But he's gonna miss a bit.
Okay.
But he'll probably, if he comes back and gets 120 games, let's say he comes back and he can get
120 is not
120.
bad.
Right? Let's say like he gets like one. Like is that good enough that you think that they're could win the division or at least make a playoff berth? Like how much do you think it really is dependent on him, or can you have Matt Olson still?
Yep.
We're talking about someone who could easily hit 30, maybe 40 if he has a good year, right?
Yep.
I feel like you got some players. Marcell Ozuna's got some power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Austin Riley's not terrible,
Profar
right?
is not bad.
Yeah, you got some people there who can, I feel like, have the ability to carry hitting wise. They just don't strike me as like a team that's gonna win games off of like IQ and making like crazy defensive plays or stealing 50-60 bases.
Yeah.
You better hope Acuna can play as many games as possible, because I'm looking here and I don't see a lot of stolen bases unless you get Acuna back.
Yeah, I mean he had like 70 that time, right? 60 that year when he won MVP. But I mean, I feel like out of the rotation wise, out of the three teams we talked about, the Braves, the Phillies, and the Mets, the rotation here I feel like is the best out of those three teams. But the offense isn't. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not as eye popping as the Mets offense and the Phillies offense. Well, but this rotation is looking good.
Yeah, the pitching looks great, and I think the Braves have always been known in the history of their their franchises to have great pitchers and to have great pitchers coming out of their thing. My biggest thing when I want to talk about the Braves, especially in this segment, was the notable subtractions. Like not about the additions, like Max Fried, you got Travis O'Neal, you got Charlie Morton, you got AJ Minter, like you got Ursula, like you got guys who are not necessarily big name guys, but guys who are glue guys who are going to other teams, and they're not going to other teams who are looking for the bag. They're going to other teams that are possible contenders. So that's kind of my biggest thing is like, are the Braves going to have enough continuity, like you said, with if Acuna is going to be out for 40, 50 games, is that going to work? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like losing Soler, Travis Arnaud, and Minter, definitely offense goes down. But I feel like they weren't afraid to get Max Fried out, because I feel like they knew he was on his way out, and they were so happy Chris Sale stepped up and got Triple Crown for them. So they were like, all right, we still have our 1-2. Spencer's coming back. But the offense did definitely diminish with losing them 3 for sure as their subtractions of this year. But they did get Profar, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see with this NLE East. We will definitely see when it comes to this NLE East.
Wow,
is there any shot? I know, obviously, like we're not really looking at the Marlins to make any noise. I mean, they have Sandy Alcantara. That he's their one bright spot, I guess.
I mean, he's the only trade asset that they have to be like, yo, who do you want? What can we get? Because he's a great pitcher.
Yeah, Cy Young winner, right? Yeah, former Cy Young winner. So, I mean, but what about the Nationals? Is there any shot for the Nationals here? Any hope?
Yeah, they have to rebuild, more rebuild.
Listen, they lost so much money from that Strasburg deal that at the end of the day, they are just hoping for a decent name that they can pay for a long period of time.
Like all the deals that they made this year were all less than like it's 1-2 year deals. I feel like they're just trying to test it out. You know what I mean? Like
they got nobody they can invest in. They
Yeah.
got nobody they can invest in. They got bad taste in their mouth, and I understand. If you gave a guy over like $200 million and he only pitched 8 times, I'd understand too. I feel some type of way. I have some trust issues. I get it. I get it. So I think that's what they're dealing with. The Nationals, you know what I'm saying? They got burned by their lady, so they're just gonna wait, see if they get some prospects in their draft, see what happens. But they also know they can't compete with the players that's going on right now. They said, let's take a back seat and just relax for a second. I've been on cruise control. Tesla. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
This is an exciting division. I feel like it could be any of those three real good teams.
Anytime those guys are gonna be on, I want to watch for sure. It's gonna be some big bats, and it's gonna be some strong pitching. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah, last year Phillies won 95, Braves were second place 89, tied with Mets 89. But I feel like it could cook up like a different way here this year. I feel like it's anyone's game, and I feel like the Mets can definitely do some damage here, because I mean Juan Soto is a difference maker.
Who's your team for the NL East?
NL East.
Who is your team? Who's your team coming out the NL East? Who's getting the most wins this year out of the NL East?
I'm gonna have to lean towards the Mets, guys. I think the Mets about to take the NL East here. Yeah.
Okay. Mikey,
I'll go Braves. I'll go Braves for right now. That's what I'm feeling. Atlanta. I'm thinking that Acuna comes back and has a great year, and I think the pitchers keep pitching well.
You know, I really the question is if Acuna comes back. So that's the only reason why I'm gonna pick the Mets, because I feel like right now it's uncertain. That's my only concern. But I think it's gonna be an amazing division, 80 plus wins for most of these guys. So chill. I'm with that.
All right. You got 2 Mets and 1 Braves. No love for the Phillies, but it's okay. It's okay.
I feel like they're gonna play with the most like sense of urgency too, the Phillies.
Yeah.
Because they know, guys, like this is it. Like we're getting older, so but I don't know what.
Even Bryce Harper moving to first shows that like anything for the team to help them, I'll move my own position from right field, get a better right field, and I'll play first.
I mean, that's 2 of the best infielders right there, Bryce Harper and Trey Turner.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, we'll see.
Yep.
What division we got next?
We going to the Central, guys. We're going to the Brewers, Cardinals, Reds, Pirates, and Cubs. And if we go to the Central, there's some moves that happened in the Brewers in the Brewtown. Former Yankee, he got traded. Nestor Cortez with the. I used to love it when like he would go like off balance, like and then he would pitch, and then people would talk mad, like he would talk a lot about it. And for me, it's like, since he's in my team, I just loved it. But I say bye-bye to Nestor, and he went to the Brewers, Brewtown. And the Brewers also got Jose Quintana in a 1-year deal. But I don't know. They lost their closer, to the Yankees, Devin Williams. And they lost Adames to the Giants in the big contract. They lost Frankie to the Mets. Oh, I did not know that Gary Sanchez is a Baltimore Oriole. He went to the Orioles. But Gary Sanchez kind of wrote his little name for himself in the Brewers last year. But I don't know. The additions that they made here this season, it doesn't seem like eye-popping. I feel like it won't really change the team's outcome. But I don't know. What do you guys feel about the Brewers this year?
When you lose a lot, you got to try to fill it in. And sometimes you fill it in with the replacement squads, and I feel like this was, it was a movie, called Replacements, the NFL players was on a lockout, so they had to do, some, over the bus, hey, come on over.
For sale.
This is we're all, we're open. So I think this is one of these things where we look at it, it's a bunch of 1-year deals. They're saying, hey, we got a base that's open. You want to play? Hey, we got a pitcher that we need filling. You want to play? So I think that they're just trying not to get squashed at this point. So that's just my opinion. I don't know. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Devin Williams, it was probably a bad subtraction, right? Like that's a bad lot, like not a great player to lose. But they did add Quintana, who was pretty good for the Mets last year, right?
Yep.
And they did add a couple other pitchers here. So I think that it's a tough division to match up because I feel like the Reds is kind of on the way up.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
the Cubs are talented, which we'll get to. So
Yeah.
like in comparison, I'm not really feeling like it's not like you have a bona fide MVP style Christian Yelich, you know?
Exactly.
It's been a little, we're removed from that. So let's see, could he go crazy or for some reason?
They did win 93 games last year. And they took the division in the National League Central.
I think
It is solid. It is solid, but I feel like that's like the opposite of we was talking about like the Braves in a way. Like they have like sound defensive players and like win by playing good ball, right?
Mhm.
Like running the base paths well and playing with good leadership. William Contreras, right?
Yep,
Like I
yep.
feel like like when you have someone like a catcher and the catcher's real good, like I feel like the team is good. It's like
Yeah.
smart baseball. You know what I mean?
Reese Hoskins at first base.
Yeah. So I don't know though. I'm not for some reason my hopes for them is like I feel like they could win the division again. I just don't think they will is what my initial feelings is telling me.
Yeah. I feel that. I feel that.
IQ can win you games throughout a season, but bats and starting like the players are gonna win you series. They're gonna be the ones that push you over the hump when you're going toe to toe. And I think with the Brewers last year, they got hot. Like there were some moments throughout the season, especially when it's that lull time of the year. Guys are kind of getting warmer, but the games don't matter as much. I think they stole a lot more games than people thought. You know what I mean, last year. And I think with the tune up with everybody in their division, I think I think they're one of the odd mans out or heading down compared to heading up. You know.
Yeah, definitely. The team is definitely getting older, and the hype train definitely, I feel like, left the Brewtown, and I feel like they definitely do need a time to rebuild. And yeah, let's move on to another team that I want to talk about. Is what you talked about, Mikey, was the Chicago Cubs. They had a huge splash. They traded for Kyle Tucker from the Astros. They definitely got a handful of new players in their squad. Matthew Boyd, Ryan Presley, which is a great piece to add to your bullpen. Ryan Presley, I feel like, is one of the great closers in the MLB. They added Justin Turner. He's kind of old, but I saw him in Japan. To see him in the other side, not in a Dodger uniform, was kind of weird. But that was pretty cool. And they had Cody Poteet that got traded to the Cubs. So I feel like the Cubs this year are trying to make some damage here in the Central. They're definitely not ready to face the Dodgers in the National League, not at all. But I think they're suiting themselves well for the Central. So I feel like that's what their plan is, to take the division, but it's going to be hard to take the actual conference. So how do you guys feel about the Cubs this year and their pieces here?
Well, I know Mikey's was talking about the Cubs a little bit, so I'm gonna make sure I leave a little bit of room for him. But one of the few things that I really feel about this team is kind of like what I was just talking about with the Brewers. I think the Cubs were like, oh snap, we lost a few games when guys weren't really fully in it yet. Not that we're not a talented team, but our mind necessarily wasn't in it. So I think let's get some guys that know how to play. We look at the teams that that they acquired players from: Astros, Guardians, Dodgers, Yankees, Dodgers again. Like, these are guys who know how to win, organizations that know how to win, not just in the postseason, or not just in the regular season, but in the postseason. And that starts with every single day, working you know what I mean? That type of routine. Mikey, how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Cubs. I do. I feel like they improved in like an area that you probably would like to improve, which is power hitting, by getting Kyle Tucker.
Yes.
Like, you want someone with a good bat, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And I feel like he's looked good too. I was watching a little spring ball here and there, and he popped a nice dinger. I seen. But the pitching is not bad too, because Imanaga, even though they didn't win, he pitched 4 solid innings
No
to
hits,
start.
no hits, bro. Like
Yeah.
a perfect game. Yeah.
Yeah, and Justin Steele is pretty nice as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like when I like look at the overall team, it's like the type of team that's like, whereas I feel like the Brewers are trying to keep the game close and win like a lower scoring game. You know what I mean? Not make mistakes and let the pitching keep them in like a lower scoring game. I think the Cubs have a little bit more leeway to win. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the defense, like the base running is pretty good, and they have like one or two people who can push them over the hump, like in those games that they'll need it. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like I don't dislike the Cubs this year.
No,
I
not
agree.
at all.
I agree. Even with the subtractions they had, losing Cody Bellinger, Kyle Hendricks, Michael Talkman, Isaac Paredes, I feel like it doesn't matter. The people that they got in the offseason kind of is a bigger fill than the whole. And like what you said, the pitching here with Imanga, Steele, Boyd now with their new, who they got. They even have Jameson Tyone, which, he's a solid 4-5 starter. And you have Cody Poteet, where I'm sure he's going to start in the Triple A's now in the minors, but whenever you need that fifth starter, whoever's injured, he will definitely go and fill you up. And he, as we talked about, he only pitched like a few starts, but he has like a 2.5 ERA, I think. So he will get you those innings, and he will get you out of those situations that you need. So I feel like the Cubs are pretty excited.
Yeah, you don't have to have a power hitter too. If you got people like, you look at the second baseman, Horner, and Ian Happ too, the outfielder. They combined for like 300 hits last year, which is like, you don't necessarily need to. Everybody doesn't need to. The Phillies is going to hit it out the park, right? You know what I mean? But I feel like the Cubs just get on base, get your base hits, score, and you know what I mean.
They have Seiya Suzuki too. The Japanese Seiya Suzuki. Last year he was 21 home runs, 73 RBIs with the 283 average, 848 OPS. So solid, like
not bad at all.
Not too heavy in the home runs, but 848 OPS is pretty solid. It's above league average. So it's they have a lot of those kind of players that can really get you over. And they have Kyle Tucker now, so he's like a plus on that. He will give you that 30 plus home runs if you want in the middle of the lineup. So I feel
that's how you win real baseball.
Yeah. That's what they needed too. They just needed one person who can hit 30, 40, like, you know what I mean? And so
that was like almost a big splash in the offseason this year. One of the biggest. Besides the Soto. I feel like the Kyle Tucker one.
Yeah.
Should we talk about these Pittsburgh Pirates? They made a news the other day too about this. But they got Andrew McCutchen re-signed for a year deal, which I think it's more of like a courtesy thing. We talked about in the pod where, you serve for the team for a long time, kind of lived your career, and you want to come back, I guess, and then retire as a Pittsburgh Pirate, and I respect that. They got Spencer Horwitz, 3-team trade, Tommy Pham. I don't know. I don't think the Pirates are still ready yet, in my opinion. But I love the most exciting player of the Pirates right now is Paul Skeens, guys. From last year, the emergence of Paul Skeens and how electric he is on the field really showed us, like, okay, we're excited for a full season of Paul Skeens now. So this 2025 season, I think, is not more of like the win-loss record of the Pittsburgh Pirates, but how well Paul Skeens does in the Pittsburgh Pirates. How do you guys feel about these Pittsburgh Pirates here?
You got it already. Like, you nailed it. I think they're long shots to win the division. I feel like they're sitting right there with like the Cardinals as more like long shots in this division.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, we're excited to see what Paul Skeens can do, right? Rookie of the year. Damn near took that Cy Young.
Bro,
even though he
just
started that late,
damn
near went and took it. But talk to me, David. Tell me what you heard. Have you heard what I heard about Paul Skeens this last week?
I mean, I heard some things. I mean, if you want to tell the MSD crew what was happening with Mr. Boy.
I know.
Tell him.
I know you like talking money. No, well, I know you like talking money. So this is what I mean. I'll tell you this.
You got a little something.
This man's rookie card. He's got a right. Everyone in the MLB since the last couple of years, Top started putting out the special 1-of-1 cards, right? With your first your game worn jersey from your first game, and they call it like the Shield logo because it's like the insignia, the MLB insignia. So this, a little 11-year-old, I think he's from California.
California.
young little 11-year-old. He just so happened to be, I got a golden ticket. I got a golden ticket. He pulled that. And this week, that card sold for more than Paul Skeens will get paid. This year, Paul Skeens will be getting paid $875,000. And at auction, his card sold for $1.1 million.
Wow.
Craziness.
Listen, if you guys don't know, you know what I mean, with these one of one cards, anybody can buy them. So anybody can pull them. So it's not like if I'm a player, I have the one of one card. I have to wait till somebody pulls that, John, and then says, "Hey man, can I get my card? Because it's the one of one, and there's only one of them, and it's me. So it's a little tough."
Yep.
So, but yes, I mean, I'm really excited. You know, one for the seller, you know what I mean? That's life-changing money. It's always great. Two, I'm enjoying the fact that baseball cards are coming back. Cards are coming back into the American society in terms of holding on to them, the collectibles. We were nerds back in the day, having our little pouches and making sure things didn't get wet and covering it in our double-layered jackets and all these other things. Now look at us now. We might have $250,000 under our bedroom. You never know. You never know. But one thing I will say about these Pirates, other than scheme, shout out to my boy, is whenever you trade for a first baseman and whenever you have a legacy play, you're in trouble. First base is a strong position. You need continuity. And you don't see the Dodgers, you know, signing, you know, guys from, you know, 10 years ago who are hot. They're signing guys who are hot now from Japan. So that's all I got to say about the Pirates. They're just, you know, trying to be relevant, keep the schemers happy, keep the people coming to the ballpark.
Yeah, I feel like that rookie card, Mikey, and that debut patch. It's crazy how that worked, because I think it was only 2 years ago they added the debut patch on every rookie that debuts in the MLB. You get that patch, and now Topps have the idea to make a freaking card having that patch, and that player sees that card one time.
One time
He signs that thing. Close, and they never see it again until someone opens it. And
pray, you gotta pray, and you better be prayed that it's sold too. That's
his girlfriend had an offer too. She was like, "I'll share my luxury box seats with you. Can sit with me in the luxury box seats or something like that." And the Pirates also had a deal where it's like, "We'll give you season tickets for like 30 years, I think, right?"
Not worth it.
But then the LA kids like, "Bro, I live in California. Why do I care about?
Watch us lose games.
Why do I have to go to PNC Park? Like, what?"
Come watch us lose games. Pay for the gas.
Yep.
Stay for the story.
It's dumb.
I saw Paul Schemes win, but that's it.
But yeah, I'm so happy for the kid and the family that got the 1.1. And yeah, it's pretty crazy on how much hype he has, because the numbers prove it, guys. Like, we did say he won Rookie of the Year, but I'm seeing he got third place in the Cy Young voting. He pitched 23 games, 11-3, with the 1.96 ERA, guys.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
170 strikeouts in 133 innings, 11.5 strikeouts per 9. So I'm so excited to see a full 30, 31 start season for Paul Skeens, and I'm really hoping he get into Cy Young this year. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, that's what I'm excited for in the Pirates when I hear the Pirates.
I have one question before we jump to the next team.
Yeah.
What would you do if you woke up tomorrow morning and pulled, I don't know, maybe that card, or
the Holy Grail
or something? I know YBK. I know what YBK would do, but Mikey, what would you do other than call us first? What would you do if you pulled that card?
I'd sell it for sure. I feel like I'm at a point in my life where the money, it's worth it just for setting up investments, buying a house, having a family. I would sell it. But maybe it depends on really who knows, if I won the lottery first and then I pulled the card, obviously I'd keep it. You know what I mean? But I would say it's worth too much for me right now to not try to get that money. I mean, even if that kid sees 700 racks, it's sold for 1.1 million, you're gonna have to pay the fees and stuff, tax on whatever, and pay the fees for the whoever sold the card,
That's
etc.
750.
700 racks,
Yeah.
bro. Come on, man.
Pretty good.
YBK, what about you?
Yeah, I definitely. I'm gonna first vlog that thing, post it on TikTok, tell Tops what's your biggest offer. You know what I'm saying? I'm selling that thing right away. I'm gonna seal that out right away. Get it graded. Right away, get it graded and be like, all right, guys. Who's gonna give me the biggest deal?
Okay, all right. I'm gonna immediately put y'all on the pod. We're going live, and it is the biggest offer goes after that. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Obviously, I make sure it gets covered and everything like that. But yeah, I'd probably sell it.
But yeah, anything 1-of-1, and it must be so like holding it I'll shake wow,
yeah.
like there's only one in the world, like that's crazy.
You gotta get, as soon as you saw it, you probably have to put it back and go get a velvet,
right away, sleeve it and put the penny sleeve and the other sleeve.
That's what I'm saying. I just immediately I'd be like, oh, I gotta get a glove. Oh snap!
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, that's Paul Skeens. Let's go. I'm rooting for you. We're rooting for you here.
Who else is in this division?
I want to talk about the Reds here, guys. The Reds, like what Mikey said, they're on a rise here, guys. And I feel like these Cincinnati Reds they're trying here. I feel like they're really trying, and in the Central, I feel like it could be possible, but you have to really trust on your youth and what you got. But they have one exciting player that we always talk about. Is Mr. Ellie De La Cruz. I love this guy. This guy is electric. This guy's exciting. Always fun to watch. And yeah, I feel like even with their rotation-wise too, with Hunter Green, Nick Martinez, Nick Lodoto, it's not bad. And I feel like there is potential here. What do you guys feel about this team?
It's hard for me to trust the youth in baseball. Same way I feel in college basketball. I was struggling. I was, you know what I mean? I thought, you know what I mean? Maybe some of my young bulls in Mizzou was going to be able to do something. Do you know what happened? They lost to Drake. So this is how I feel about the Reds. I really feel like the Reds are an aspiring team, but they need a year or two. I think they're just a little young. And even though they might make some noise this season, I'm not sitting here saying that they won't. I just still feel like to put some eggs in that basket, it's hard to trust. Mikey, how you feel?
Yeah, I think that I like Terry Francona a lot. Like, don't get me wrong. So, like, that's like kind of where I'm leaning. Like, I kind of want to root for someone who I'm like familiar with and who I feel like helped my city. Like, we won with you. But I'm also like, like, who are the best players on the field for the Reds besides Ellie De La Cruz? Like, we know you have a superstar, right? Like, who's your good relief pitchers here? Who can run the bases besides Ellie? Like, you know what I mean? Like that to that level. So I feel like maybe, who knows? Don't be surprised. They could do a little, if you win 90 games, 95 games and you sneak in, or your division doesn't do great and you sneak it, who knows? Terry Francona might steal that manager of the year.
Yep.
It's very true.
Yep.
It is a weak division. So they do have a chance. It's the Brewers' division to lose. Do you know what I mean? So
I feel like they're coming off a 77-win, 85-loss season, and I feel like if they even go 500, it's a successful season this year.
That's true.
And I'm seeing the stats. I did not like really come to attention, but Ellie played 160 games last year, guys, and stole 67 bases last year.
Ooh.
I'm like, wait, what? And he's 23 years old? Like, this is very electric and very exciting.
And that's why I say I think they need one more year.
Maybe get the batting average up a little bit. If 259 is kind of, you need that 275 plus, in my opinion.
That's
but that 67 though is pretty crazy. But yeah.
You got the God-given ability. It's just that you don't know how to be a pro day to day. You don't know how to not go out too late one night, go to bed early, make sure you hydrate, doing your stretches. You know what I'm saying? Making sure you're this team is going to lose ball games because of their mental ability, not because of their physical ability.
Yeah. I mean, if their starting pitchers can play well, like Hunter Green and Nick Martinez were decent last year, like the 1-2 combo. And I feel like you'll have to lean heavily on your strong 1-2. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
I
won't be surprised.
I feel like losing Jonathan India kind of sucks for that team because he's been there for that team for a while. So I really hope Gavin Lux can bring like that veteranness, because I feel like Jonathan India is more of like that best friend that you always had, and now Gavin Lux is like that well polished guy that now joined the team. So, but Gavin Lux is a champion, so
He is.
you can't
He
you
is.
can't go wrong with that. So that's a cool replacement for Jonathan India.
How about that?
Yeah.
I'm-
You guys want to talk anything else for the Central here in the National League?
Nah, I think we already know where we about to go, baby.
Should we move on? Oh, before we move on, who do you guys think is going to take the Central this year?
I'm gonna go Cubs because I feel like I
Cubbies?
already said Cubs.
Gotcha.
Excuse me as I'm choking over here. I'm like took a sip of my drink and I almost died right now.
Oh, mama.
Excuse me, but I'm gonna go Cubs because I feel like I already put my eggs in the basket. I gotta ride with it.
Yep, gotcha.
I'm gonna go with the Brewers. I think it's their division to lose. I think if the Cubs get hot, I'm gonna be a little nervous, but I think it's the Brewers. I think we got those. Brewers.
I'm gonna have to go ride the Kyle Tucker train here. I'm going Cubbies for the National League Central here, guys. So let's move on to your division, David, the National League West, and we gonna talk about the reigning champions here. Let's just talk about them first, because they deserve to be talked about first. They're the champions. So we're gonna talk about who they got. I mean, talk about Blake Snell, a former Giant, joining their division rivals to the Dodgers in a 5-year deal. They got Roki Sasaki, which had a lot of drama between which team to choose, which team to go to, because Roki isn't going to be that Yamamoto deal. He had that minor league deal kind of vibe going on, so he signs with the Dodgers. And we saw him in the Tokyo series 2 days ago and looking pretty good. Walked a few, but it's okay. They re-signed Teoscar. I mean, great addition to this club. When they signed him last year, he hit no home runs in Seattle. Seattle's a curse. You can't play over there. He joined the Dodgers, hits over 30 home runs, World Series champions. They get Tanner Scott, great relief pitcher. Re-signed Kershaw, got a Korean man trying to get that Gavin Lux replacement. Hesung Kim going. They signed so many players that are so good. They signed Michael Conforto as left field. He did some damage in the Tokyo series. They re-signed Kike. They re-signed Blake Trinan. And it's like, guys, they just got better even though they won. So what's better than S tier? How do you guys feel about this?
Listen, there's VS and then there's VVS. Okay, let them know. There's VS and then there's VVS.
my
And you know
God.
what the ladies like. They want the VVS diamonds, diamond dancing on them. Listen, I do live in LA, guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm in LA now. I know what it is. I know, but here's the thing. I am a Red Sox fan. However, I appreciate what the Dodgers are doing. So they are one of my key teams, especially in the NL. The thing that I really feel about, and we've talked about the Dodgers throughout our podcast and about how we feel about them, is their ability to win now, and they're kind of changing the league of this deferred money is what I'm always interested in. I think you guys know how I feel, learning how the money moves, how it shakes, who gets it, why don't they get it. That's what your boy Camden Lee loves to do. So seeing this team, I'm just so excited. 5-year deal, 3-year deal, 3-year deal, 4-year deal, 2-year deal. They're making sure not only if this success or this situation, comes this year, it's coming next year. We got the year after that. So these guys are loading up for the dynasty. I don't think anybody else is really looking at it like that. Maybe, your boys over there, YBK, the Yankees. Maybe, our boys, the Sox. But nobody is thinking about the dynasty, the legacy of the game, other than the Dodgers. I don't know what to tell you. Is it just me?
I mean, their rotation is nasty, bro.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, their starting rotation is Yamamoto, Otani, Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Roki Sasaki. I mean, that's deadly. From what we've seen so far, Sasaki already just in his first appearance looked nasty. Yamamoto, nasty. Otani hasn't pitched in a hot minute, so he's going to be ready, and we've seen him pitch before. Nasty. Blake Snell, nasty. Tyler Glasnow, I feel like it's been a hot minute, but I feel like he's got it too. Let's just see what he's got. He don't even need to have it like that. You don't even need to have it like that.
Yeah.
And
No.
let's not even mention the MVP names. Otani is a batter, right? Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. It's crazy. I mean, it's talk about the rich getting richer. Yeah. I
And
mean,
even getting
shit.
Michael Conforto as your left fielder now, it's like, yo, they just got deeper, and he's a pretty solid 3.5, 4-star kind of player. And I'm like, they're just so deep, and even I feel like they have the almost best bullpen in the MLB, best rotation in the MLB, best defense in the MLB, and best offense in the MLB. So what's gonna stop them? And I feel like the only thing that's gonna stop them is, God forbid, the injury bugs. But so far, right now, them Dodgers are looking flawless and looking perfect right now, and they're 2-0 to start the regular season, and they're back to America, playing a few more spring training games, being 2-0.
For our listeners who cannot see our faces, if you could see the frustration when YBK is naming all of the amazing plethora of riches that the Dodgers have on Mikey's like, these like it is. I understand. I feel the same way. How
Yeah,
your diamond shine better?
Do y'all want to just pick who we think is gonna win this division right now?
Just do it right now on this one.
We might as well. I mean,
they only lost Walker Buehler, Jack Flaherty, Gavin Lux, and they just signed like 12 other people. So I feel like their hole wasn't even a hole. They just filled. Even the circle got bigger.
So we can talk about the Dodgers and how amazing that they are. The question is, out of all of these teams in the NL West,
Yeah,
who do you think is at least the little brother? Who you think the little brother is?
the
I
Padres.
think there's two though, but I feel like there's two. If you're talking about like in the West itself, I feel like two teams have a chance because one team has done pretty well in free agency and the other team has like the superstar power, like somewhat to match. Because the Padres at least have perennial candidate MVP Fernando Tatis junior Manny Machado's still there.
Okay.
They still have solid play, like a solid rotation, right?
Bogart's still there.
Exactly, right? Good infield. And you still have the Arizona Diamondbacks in the division who just made some good additions, right? Like made an addition that I was dying for the Red Sox to make, right? All off season. So if I had to pick, my dark horse is going to be Arizona out of this division, right?
Really?
Yeah. For sure.
I mean, weren't they in the World Series against the Rangers 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're still. That's a good point, Mikey. And they just got better with Corbin, because I feel like their rotation, Erod is the number 4 guys. You're looking at Corbin, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, and then Eduardo Rodriguez. Yeah. So they definitely made their starting rotation bolstered. They got that bona fide ace, but Zach Gallen was still a pretty good ace, but Corbin Burns just adds another class into that.
Do you think that the Dodgers have a little bit of fear from their little brothers, and that's why they're like doubling up on the war chest? Like they're like, oh, these guys aren't even 2 years, almost not even 2 years removed from the World Series. Like if we don't like step on it now, like do you know what I mean? It's because I could definitely see it with the Diamondbacks for sure. Like these guys have some great pitching. I feel like they really know how to win. And then the Padres still got some game left in them.
They do.
You know what I'm saying?
They do.
They still got some game left in them. And I just wonder if this Dodgers situation is more of an intimidation factor with the names, and we're gonna put some big names on the ticket to kind of scare you out of a sense, in a way, kind of like how the Yankees were back in the day, where they wanted to just scare you before the Red Sox put a knife in their back and let them know coming back from the dead. I mean, how do we feel? Do you think the Dodgers are afraid or what?
No, I don't think the Dodgers are afraid.
Not
I just
afraid.
think that they're just showing like they just got stronger. You know what I mean? They're not afraid. They're just adding more. I feel like.
So do we all have the Dodgers to take this division? Is that what we're thinking?
For sure, we must.
Yeah, I think so. There's definitely Dodgers gonna take this West for sure. We're gonna see him in.
But I do like, hey, I wouldn't sleep on the Padres and Diamondbacks. One of them might be a wild card team.
Oh, true.
I wouldn't sleep on them. I mean, they both got some good bats, right? I feel like maybe not throughout the whole lineup, but like a couple of them spark plug type hitters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you still got Josh Naylor and Kettle Marte on the Diamondbacks, and you still got Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis swinging at
And
that.
Bogarts.
Yeah, Bogarts, of course. So it's like I feel like you still got some bats to contend with when you going in to see them.
Luis
So
Arias is a batting champion too.
there you go.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So
He's a hitting
All right,
machine. He's
all
a hitting
right.
machine.
I mean, listen. This is the part of the segment. I know we're in the middle of the joint. You know what I'm saying? We're in the middle of the MLB coverage.
Oh,
But this is the part of the segment that you better turn your dials up. You better turn it up a little bit louder because this is where the MSD crew splits a little bit. It's a little 2-against-1 situation.
Yep.
This is where you know what I mean. Homegrown boys stay homegrown because this is just who we are and what we do. Now, due to the fact that we're gonna kick your ass a little later, YBK, you can start it off with your boys if you want to. In the at least.
All right. We're going to the American League, everybody. Exactly what David said. You got to listen to this part right here because we're going to talk about the American League East, everybody. We're talking about the New York Yankees, the Boston Red Sox, Toronto Blue Jays, Tampa Bay Rays, and the Baltimore Orioles. And let's start it off with the New York Yankees. We got a lot of unfortunate news after we lost the World Series against the Dodgers, a devastating 1-4 4-1 loss in the World Series. But after we lost the World Series, I didn't know about this, but the Yankees generated around $500 million on revenue and ticket sales because of the World Series and the deep playoff runs of 2024. Oh my gosh, my mic is going crazy.
that's
But
good money.
but they got good money, so I feel like that's why they were crazy in this offseason and signed Max Fried to that 8-year deal, traded for Devin, traded for Cody, got Paul Goldschmidt, and they made some moves. And I feel like before we heard that Garrett Cole was out for the season a few weeks ago, I was thinking like, okay, we did lose Juan Soto, we lost Gleyber Torres, we lost Clay Holmes, we lost Nestor Cortez, we lost Tommy Kahnle, as we all talked about these guys that, in their respective teams now. I felt like, okay, now we have looking at a rotation with Cole, Fried, Rodon, like Luis Heel, and then like Clark Schmidt. And I'm looking like, wow, we're like one of the best rotations in the American League. And then now we're hearing Garrett Cole is out for the season and getting Tommy John. So now Max Fried now is going to be kind of our ace type, but now we found out that Carlos Rodon will be our opening day starter. So we're looking at that. So maybe Max Fried's that number 2, but I still think with the moves that we made, we're still kind of dangerous here, in my opinion. Of course, I'm a Yankee fan, so like I'm trying to not be as biased as but I'm just trying to say like we did fill our problems in the outfield of defense. We're not gonna have no situation where we're gonna play a player that he never played before. For example, Jazz Chisholm Jr. last year when he was acquired to the Yankees, he's a second base center field type guy, and he played third base for us in a position that he never played before in his life. So we had a lot of defensive issues going on, and we kind of filled that up with getting Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, and I feel like with those two, it's gonna kind of solidify getting Jazz going back to second. So yeah, not really worried because we kind of did bolster our bullpen as well. So. One other point I want to bring for the Yankees is Garrett Cole was kind of out for half the season last year, and we did have some starting pitchers that stepped up for us, but it sucks to lose Heel as well too. So how do you guys feel about these Yankees this year?
I mean, you know how I feel in terms of the Evil Empire. There always be, across the river, down the road, or somebody I gotta look after. And I think you guys being in the World Series last year, it definitely is something where you still have to be revered. I'm still not sitting here saying, it's not like you're, the Cardinals or the Marlins or even the Nationals. This is not the type of season for you. It's not a descending season. The real question is are you going to be able to put it all together? Are you going to be able to make sure that even with the holes that you do have, that you're able to continually bring out great hitting, great pitching, and great success? This is a tough division. I think that's really what this is. This segment or this AL East part of our show is to let you guys know this is an extremely tough division. There's going to be a lot of close games, a lot of tough games, and I think with the injuries and with some of the holes that you guys have, I'm a little concerned just about the difficulty of the conference. That's more of anything. If I took any of these teams and I put them in a different conference, they probably, other than maybe the Dodgers or maybe the Mets, they'd probably be the number one team. So I totally understand. But Mikey, how do we feel about these boys? How we feeling?
Well, the Yankees, I feel like, are in trouble just on the pitching side of it because, like, if you lose Luis Heel and you lose Garrett Cole, right, then, like, you're in trouble. Just that's, like, it is what it is. But you have so much talent that exists anyway that you're still good enough to win the division. It's just a really tough division because the Red Sox been making moves. The Orioles are already a good team. I'm not really that worried about the Rays this year. I feel like they have a hard time, like, keeping up to par, like keeping up to speed. And I feel the same thing about the Toronto Blue Jays. I feel like, they'll be good, but not great. So do I still feel like the division is the Yankees to lose? Yes. Do I feel like you should be a little worried? Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely.
Talent-wise, you guys still got some great players, and you have like a bona fide MVP type player. So
I mean, our bullpen is Yankees bullpen is one of the top still, and the bullpen just got better with Fernando Cruz and Devin Williams.
100%.
So it's definitely a plus on that. But we did have like double minuses on the starting rotation this year with Luis Heel and Garrett Cole going out. But offense-wise, the dark horses I feel like for this season for the Yankees is Jason Dominguez. We're going to give him a shot here in left field. So we'll see how he goes. But for me, my question is, the reason why Jason Dominguez was such a, like, looked down upon last year is because he's originally a center fielder. And then because Judge was at center and Juan Soto was at right, we put Jason Dominguez in left. And we gave him opportunities, but he messed up. He dropped these balls. That's why Alex Verdugo was over there left. But it's like, my question is, why not move Cody Bellinger to left? Because he is a Gold Glove winning outfielder. Move him to left and leave Jason at center and just trying to develop him there. But I mean, I don't know. That would be my GM Sam kind of going insight. But yeah.
Left field is not just about athleticism. It's athleticism and baseball IQ. So it's hard to put someone there who's never played, who doesn't understand the game of baseball in terms of that position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do know that normally they like to put, kind of the bums in right, but like you remember, Mikey, when Manny was in left, and he wasn't the most athletic guy in the world, but when he was able to hit that cutoff guy in the right position, or is he able to put himself in a position off the wall to kind of do the things that he needed to do and throw to second? He showed you that it wasn't just, obviously he was a great, amazing hitter, but in terms of his IQ of the game, he knew, okay, I know the ball is going to probably fly around here. I know I can't go too fast up on it because it's going to hop and it's going to go under me. I'm going to just not go for it this time because I'm going to let a base go. You know what I'm saying? How do we feel? Do we feel like that left field situation was that detrimental to the Yankees last year, and now they kind of have their little peacemaker, or what?
Like, last year was horrible for us at left field. I mean, Alex Verdugo was a great defensive asset, but he gave nothing in the offense. So, like, it kind of like, it was more of like a curse and a blessing at the same time. But I really do like Aaron Judge going back to right field. Yankee Stadium has a small right field, and it's not center field, as center field.
I don't know why they'd ever put a big behemoth like him in center field.
But he did well though, and he liked playing there. So like we kind of and then it's better than putting Juan Soto at center. Juan Soto right is good.
He was young when he coming out the league. He was young. He could run. He was doing all stuff. Now he's doing press runs. He's got to hit. He's got to be on. Boy, put that boy in right.
Yeah, he's back there, so that's good.
I know he enjoyed the game. I know he a player. I know him and his mama. I be seeing him on ESPN. They be kikiing. It'd be great. Ain't no problem with it. Boy, save your legs.
Yeah.
You know who I think might be nice though this year?
Who?
And like have a good year is Jazz. I think
Chisholm,
Jazz
yeah.
Chisholm Jr.
Ooh.
might have a good year because I feel like I like some of the players with the swagger, and I feel like he might have a nice little year for himself.
I remember when he was acquired, and then there was Old Timers Day. He was geeking. He brought his camcorder, and he was sitting next to Jeter. He was trying to get pictures with the greats, and he was just having a great time. And I feel like, I mean, coming from the Miami Marlins and going to the New York Yankees is such a big upgrade, I feel like, in general, into a losing team and going to the World Series, too, for your first time in your career. And for the Yankees, the first time in 15 years. So I really like how you said that, and I'm very excited for him, too, because he does bring that swagger, and you're like, wow, he's pretty cool. You know, that's a cool guy right there. I do agree.
Yeah. I like him. So, and Cody Bellinger's been looking well in preseason as well too. So
yes.
I wouldn't sleep on the Yankees just because of the big name injuries. I wouldn't sleep.
Now, Mikey, do you want to talk about the greatest team in the history of the world?
I don't know. Maybe one of the greatest teams in the history of the world.
Listen, I'm just saying I love that dirty water, baby. I'm just saying.
Trust me, I do too.
Sweet Caroline, what we doing?
Oh gosh, Sweet Caroline.
I feel like we finally made some moves.
Y'all made a lot of moves.
Took us long
this
enough.
off season to put us in contention. We needed to, right?
Yeah.
I still don't love the starting rotation for the Boston Red Sox. Like, I like it. I don't love it though. So let's start there, right? I mean, obviously we got Garrett Crochet, okay? And I know that the numbers 6 and 12 doesn't ring as like amazing, but 3.5 ERA or like just under it, and he was on the White Sox too. Yeah. So like, let's get it right. You know what I mean? Like, let's get it right, because I'm thinking a real bona fide ace, a lefty ace. I love it. You know how them left-hand pitchers do. And I feel like we really are just going to hope that Walker Buehler pitches well this year, because it's another huge addition, right? Like, you're basically getting a rental, like a 1 year. Let's see what you can do. Because those other dudes, are we going to have to rely on Bello and Giolito? Like, Giolito ain't even healthy like that either, too. So I'm very excited for what we've added. And then let's stop and mention all of these pitchers that we've added to the bullpen, right? Chapman, Justin Wilson, Moran. Like, we added some good pitchers. You know what I mean? All of them left-handed, nasty left-handed relief pitchers. So the pitching, I like the movements we made, but I wish we got Corbin Burns.
Yeah.
You guys tell me what you feel about this pitching staff, because I feel like this is where I feel like I ain't worried about the hitting. We can get to the hitting in that lineup part of it, but I want it to go over to pitching first.
I'm definitely concerned, 100%. I think this is where we were talking about earlier with other teams, you know, the bullpen being really strong and the starting pitching kind of being suffice in terms of helping, or vice versa. And this is where I'm like, okay, can the bullpen and the pitching just hold us for a little bit, because we've been having so many issues over the last few years. So, I mean, yeah, I think it's really boils down to the pitching. Like, I am a little concerned. We got some rentals. YBK, are you fearful? Are you fearful of the Red Sox pitching, or are you saying these guys just got together? What are we talking about?
I feel like the reason why the starting rotation last year wasn't as good looking is because the offense wasn't there. I feel like the starting pitching always had potential. I mean, look at Tanner Houck, right? Like, he had a 9-10 record with a 3.12. That showed 30 starts, fully healthy. That shows me that the team didn't give him the offense he needed in those starts, because that could be easily going to like a 12-8 kind of thing going on, and that's another different trajectory now. It's like, oh, he had a pretty good season, you know. That already changes the whole perspective. So I feel like with the additions in the offense that we're going to talk about later, it's going to help Tanner, and I feel like the lefty ace definitely makes a difference with Garrett Crochet. and you're talking about Walker Buehler, a World Series champion as well. So I feel like it's very optimistic because of the offense that the Red Sox have built this offseason.
I like that. I like that. Do we want to get to the hitting? I mean, how do we?
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at that infield, guys. Look at that infield.
I mean, this is where I feel like the Red Sox have like a, if people play up to their potential, you've got some good players. Like Jarren Duran really showed himself last year, right?
Yep.
Almost had a 200 hit season.
Yep.
And then you got people that can swing the lumber, because you got Rafael Devers still.
Oh yeah.
Right? You got Tristan Casas still.
Yep.
And guess who is coming to town? Alex Bregman has made. We got a big splash signing. We picked up a real star player. We talking real caliber here, and a good infielder. Honestly, I love Devers too. He's been around for a hot minute, but bro, I'll take Bregman at third over Devers.
Yeah.
I would rather have Bregman play third and Devers hit DH.
Yeah.
Let big Poppy, bro. If you listening, call up Devers. Hey, what's up, Poppy? You're gonna extend your career. Play DH. Nothing wrong with playing DH.
Nothing wrong with it.
Right? Listen to it, because I feel like Devers showed more in his earlier career for like fielding, and then I haven't been impressed with him as a fielder since. So, I mean, look at that. Tristan Casas, Alex Bregman, Jarren Duran, Rafael Devers. Like, we got
Trevor
some
Story.
dudes who can help us out here. Yeah.
I feel like when we talked about when Alex Bregman got signed to the Red Sox, I remember saying like y'all have like on one of the best 1 through 5 on paper right now. When you see like Duran, Devers, Bregman, Casas, Story, it's like, man, that 1 through 5, that pitcher's going to go through a long, stressful time in the first 2 innings of baseball, because that's going to be dangerous. And if one person gets on, you already know it's over. Yeah. Because that whole momentum just shifts. And I really agree with that DH Devers and Alex Bregman third instead of moving Bregman to second and then keeping Devers at third. You know what I mean? Because it does kind of block the opportunity for like that second baseman, which I think right now is David Hamilton, which gave us a solid rookie season last year.
Yep.
And you're kind of blocking his way of, developing and maybe can be a star player for the team. So if we move Devers to DH, Casas first base, Trevor Story short, Bregman third, I feel like he's going to work in terms of that. But it depends on how Devers takes it, right? Because when Bregman was getting, like, the rumors were getting, like, closer and closer to signing, Devers, I remember saying, like, I ain't moving. This is my position. That's what he kind of said. So hopefully he can take the DH kind of, position.
Well, we'll have to see how that goes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And I mean, in the AL East right now, the only team that kind of sparks my interest is, of course, the Orioles, because they're always, they did lose Santander and Corbin Burns, and they didn't really add like a eye popping, but they did sign like that. I don't know how old he is, but that Tomoyuki Shugano, the Japanese pitcher. Mm-hmm. And they got Charlie Morton, I guess, to kind of fill those positions. But I feel like the Orioles coming off that 91 win season, and even saying that as a failure kind of gives me excitement, because it's like, okay, if you think that's a failure, then that's not their potential, So I'm kind of excited for that team. I don't know. How do you guys feel about these Orioles here this season?
I think they're dangerous. I think they're gonna have to rely on Zach Eflin to pitch well. They're gonna have to rely on Charlie Morton to come in and be like what he once was. Mm-hmm. Let's see if Tomoyuki if he can pitch that thing too, because we've seen a lot of them come in here and really let it rip. But they got some decent players. Is Tyler O'Neill, who they picked up this season? He came from the Sox, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 30 home runs last year. So you got him, you got Gunnar Henderson, you got Jackson Holliday, you got Adley Rutschman. So you have talented hitters as well. So I would say we should just be just as worried about the Orioles as we are about, if I'm you, Sam, as a Yankees fan, I'm just as worried about the Orioles as I am about the Red Sox. Because the Red Sox have now made some moves to go from maybe being 500, right below 500, to maybe 90 wins, maybe more, who knows?
I agree.
So I think that the Orioles are going to be a good team again.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
mean,
think you're right about the Blue Jays not really doing much by losing. Like, I mean, you got Santander, but you didn't really do much else besides that.
Yeah, nothing.
yeah. No, I think that's the biggest thing I'd say. If I was the Yankees, I was just in the World Series. I'm definitely still worried about the Orioles and the Red Sox. Not in terms of, oh, do I think that I'm not going to be able to beat them, but it's more of like, oh, these guys have gotten better. The games are going to be more difficult. It's going to be closer. It's going to be more difficult for me in the long run. It's more in terms of that end. I'm not going to be able to just beat up on these guys like I did last year. It's actually going to be a little bit more of a challenge. So instead of, rebuilding, they're starting to revamp. So we're cool with that. AL East, like I said, it's going to be a tough division. Very tough division.
I feel like the Blue Jays this year's main mission here is to please Vladdy right now.
Exactly. I was gonna
That's their
say
season.
before dipping from Blue Jays, the
Yeah.
only thing I can think about is like at least they got Vladdy.
Yeah.
And think about this: Bo Bichette had a down year last year,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't think that it's about Santander and about like Vladdy, like they're hinging on their success. Like if Bo Bichette can be like what he was,
He is a 200+ hit season
Yeah.
hitter.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Like jump back to that, then we might see the Blue Jays talking about a wild card spot.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, Vladdy's going to be such a... That offseason, next offseason is going to be crazy with that Vladdy offseason. Who's going to take Vladdy? Because I feel like even the Yankees, too, like signing that 1-year Paul Goldschmidt, it's like, we'll bank on Goldschmidt this year, but I think they're going to get ready to get Vladdy next year. But it's going to be interesting because everyone's going to want him. Everyone's going to want Vladdy.
Any chance that Max Scherzer has a decent year?
I mean, he could. Injuries, but, I mean, he could.
Getting older.
How old is he? Like, he is 40 years old.
Yeah, like one of them old pitchers though is gonna have a good year. You think? You know what I mean? I feel like it's got to be one of them that has a good year.
Yeah. Verlander or like...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because he's in the Giants now, Verlander.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Shall we go to the prediction of AL East?
Yeah, I think we should.
All right. So, I'll go first. Of course.
We already know where you go.
We already know
We already know where you go.
YBK going to the Yankees, going to take the AL East, everybody.
Barbie Kane's writing it in big letters for y'all. Y'all can't see this right now, but
It was huge.
We looking at a little document that has our choices for picks, and he writing it in the biggest letters. Like I hear it, I hear it.
Big cap.
Write mine in red then. Put mine in red.
Right.
Red Sox, baby. I can't. I have to ride. You know what I mean? I feel like I won't sit here and say the Yankees shouldn't be favorites to win the division. But nonetheless, I like that the Red Sox went from being, a couple months ago, the odds was looking crazy, like plus 600 type.
Yeah.
I'm looking Yankees minus 300, minus 350, minus 250. Red Sox now. And Orioles is sitting right there, y'all. We
Damn.
talking about like Yankees is plus 155, Orioles plus 280, Red Sox plus 280.
Dang.
The betting odds have really closed on this division.
You're right.
You know where I'm rocking. You know what I'm doing,
Red
Boston.
Sox.
baby. You already know what it is. I'm a Boston boy. You know where I live. And even though, you know what I'm saying, I live in LA and I can't wear my Red Sox fitted because of the gang situation. I'm still rock a little Red Sox gear because you know what I'm saying. But they ain't trying to
feel it.
You already know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
But
Fenway, and y'all, for the listeners as well that don't know, Sam YBK has lived here in Boston. Like
Yup.
he knows what's good. He been by Fenway just as many times as us probably in the time that
Well, I
he
went
lived
to a lot
here.
of Fenway
So,
games.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like Fenway Park, bro, is like the spirit of the city in a city like Boston and New York. Like baseball, whether you're a baseball fan or not, it's intrinsic with the city. Like it's part of the history and the fabric of the city. So you ain't gotta be like a Red Sox fan to know the importance of the
Yes.
Curse of the Great Bambino,
Mm.
the smell of Italian sausages, onions, peppers cooking when you in Fenway area.
Listen, you trying to get me to move back to Boston? Boy, you don't be
No,
trying
I'm
to
just
keep-
saying because
but it's
I'm still
true.
in the
It's
city.
true.
I'm in the city right now, and I be by there, and it's like you
Hey,
feel it. Like
Every
I had
time
the
you walk
pleasure-
past it, you feel it. You feel
I had
it.
the pleasure of going to my first concert at Fenway Park this last year, and like there's nothing like Fenway Park, and there's nothing like an old bar park. So you know what I mean? I know people be saying like baseball's boring, like when you watch it on TV, maybe. But if you go to see a Red Sox game, there's a lot of energy, and you'll see what we mean if you go there. So
Yeah, I gotta say, like
AL East,
living in Boston as a Yankee fan, Fenway Park definitely the whole surroundings of the park too. That vibe is like nothing else. It's amazing when you go there. Not gonna lie.
best division in baseball, yo. AL East,
AL East, let's go.
for sure.
Let's get it, baby. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got a couple more to get through though before we done.
Yes, we
got
do.
a
We got
couple
the AL Central here. And I mean, AL Central, we got the what? Guardians, the Royals, the Tigers, the Twins, and the White Sox. And I feel like 3 teams here were playoff teams last year.
Crazy.
Guardians, Royals, and the Tigers. So, should we move on? Should we move to which team should we go to here?
I think we should talk about the Tigers. Let's
You want to talk about the Tigers? All right.
I think that the 4 competitor teams deserve to be talked about, and we can just say like we know what's good with the White Sox, right?
They had the worst
I mean,
season
in all
last year.
respect to the White Sox, but like we know it's good. Like you ain't doing nothing.
Nothing. Rebuilding, revamping.
You only won 41 games and lost 121 games last year.
Listen, you could put the 3 of us out there. We
Oh,
probably win more.
definitely. Yeah, I'll pitch for him.
I might do all right.
I might. I got a
do
little
all right.
knuckleball. I got a little knuckleball. I can make it work. You know what I'm saying? A little off speed.
Put me in the bullpen. You know, let me get some innings going.
Talk to me about the Tigers? You say you want the Tigers,
Yeah.
Camden? Tell me what you would think about the Tigers.
You know,
who
the
they
thing
get?
hold on. I'm looking right now and double checking exactly. I want to make sure. I like try to be accurate. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I'm talking to you guys. When it comes to the Tigers,
Right here.
one of the teams that I feel like is really able to hold down some big names, right? Torres came on a 1-year deal. We got Jack Flaherty on a 2-year deal. Alex Cobb came on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Ogdukwe, so I think they said that right. He came on a 1-year deal. I'm not worried about Detroit when it comes to the hitting. I was never worried about their bats. It's always been their pitching for me. Whenever Detroit has ever been in the playoffs, I know they've had Verlander, they've had some guys, but whenever I felt like, okay, Detroit's in the playoffs, their pitching has always done them dirty. So they did lose Alex Frito, which, you know, he definitely went to the Rays. So we're just talking about that division. And, you know what I mean? Having, I think, Ty France, I think also might make a big difference. Like we said, that, like I said earlier, that first baseman. So kind of cementing kind of that infield. I'm not thrilled with the big names. That's the biggest thing for me. You lose a lot of big names, you don't get anybody back. So do we think Detroit is going to be able to make the playoffs again with them losing Kepler, Santana, you know what I mean? Even Farmer. Like, do we think that they're going to be able to sustain what they had last year or even build on what they had last year?
I'm worried about the hitting, and like I'm worried about what I see on that side, because I feel like Jack Flaherty's probably their best signing to me, right? You pick up someone who won 13 games, had like a 3 ERA. You need that kind of. And really, we got to see. Schoolboy's the reigning Cy Young.
Yep.
Right.
So there's a huge reason why you won the amount of games you won, right? Can he pitch like a Cy Young again? Can he go back to back? That's what really I feel like is going to propel your pitching, because you got a lot of these guys here, you know, Tommy Connell, you got like Brebbia, you got people to go in that bullpen for you. You know what I mean? So my question is, who besides Jack Flaherty and Schoolboy is going to carry them?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Reese Olson, Jackson Job.
Nope.
I don't really think so.
No.
I don't know, because I feel like the division is a very competitive division. That it means we can count them out. I'm just not quite sure. I feel like, you know, amazed by the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you said, Mikey. It's like, yeah, they made playoffs last year. They signed Jack Flaherty. They got Glaber in a 1-year deal, you know. But I feel like they're not even gonna make playoffs this year. in my opinion,
Mhm.
for the Detroit Tigers. Looking at their lineup here, they have no player that can really kind of give influence, and that difference maker is not really there. I think they just signed Jack Flaherty because of that kind of like funny story they kind of had last year, right? Being sellers in the trade deadline. And then now all of a sudden competing after giving away Jack Flaherty to the reigning champion Dodgers and going into playoffs and losing. It's like, oh, maybe that shouldn't have happened. It's like,
Exactly.
yeah. Maybe we should have just built on
Who's gonna
that.
hit for them too?
Yeah.
Like who's gonna hit some for them? I mean,
Exactly.
they don't got no one who hit 25 home runs last year. So if you don't have someone who can hit 25 home runs, then like you better believe your pitching is gonna have to carry you. So I don't trust it.
Exactly.
2-1 games is not gonna cut it for Detroit.
No.
Yeah.
I just don't.
And
see
you
it.
have Javier Baez, but like, when was the last time that he was that difference maker? And now we're saying Trey Sweeney might be the starting shortstop now. So it's like, is he gonna be the bench player now? It's like, you're paying him 25 million AAV for what? To be on the bench to warm your seats up. So it's like, I feel like the Detroit Tigers this year doesn't really look like a team to be scared of, or not gonna go anywhere.
I do think they can still. This division's competitive. Like let's now we said all those comments about Detroit. Then let's look at someone like Minnesota, right?
Twins, okay.
Like what are you feeling like? Do you feel scared of Minnesota? Like, do we feel scared about like a team like this? Because for me, I'm looking at like what moves did you really make to add to your team? Like you've lost more than you've gotten. If you're looking at Minnesota here.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you added DeScalfini, right? Or Descalfini, and you added Harrison Bader, Ty France, but you lost like more than you got.
Yep.
So like, okay, Kepler is gone, Farmer is gone, Carlos Santana is gone. I'm not really sure, like, even though they're favored to win the division. Very, very small favorite.
Twins?
Betting
Who
favorite.
is?
Really?
Who is?
Wins.
Wow.
Wins.
No way.
Yeah. Twins are Twins is plus 210 and Detroit's plus 230.
Oh wow.
I know. I'll tell you the odds too as we go to the others, because I mean obviously Chicago is a long shot, but we'll talk about Guardians and Royals too. But to me, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying into the Twins. I'm just not. I do think Pablo Lopez, their ace, is pretty like I trust him kind of more than I trust anyone else in a way. That's what I will say. But I'm not blown away when I look at the names on the list. Like I know Byron Buxton can be nice. He's got to stay healthy on the field. Carlos Correa can be nice. He's got to stay healthy and be on the field. Royce Lewis, we talking about someone who's got talent. Let's see if everyone can stay healthy and play together, because then I'll have a different story for you. But for now, I'm not buying it as much because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't endorse it either. I think this is one of the weaker divisions in terms of just where people are kind of lingering on. And especially if the Twins are favored, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's crazy.
I thought the Royals would be favored, but damn, it's surprising.
Me too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, you can't lose that many players and expect to continue to win. Like, you need a big bat. You need a big name.
Yeah, it's another team that didn't have a 25 home run hitter. Yeah, like it's like you don't even have someone who hit 25. Like, it's tough. It's tough, man.
It's tough. That division is tough.
So compared to like a team, like who you want to jump to Guardians? You want to talk about, because I know you said you like the Royals. Let's end with the Royals then, because I feel like I like the Royals too. So the Guardians, another team that lost someone big.
They lost Naylor to the Giants.
That's right.
Diamondbacks.
Josh Naylor's gone.
Yeah.
So
that's why they signed Carlos Santana, but he's old now. That's the thing. But he did come back. He was in the Guardians before when they were the Indians back then. But I feel like in the Guardians, their star player is Jose Ramirez, right? That's the only guy. Oh, I guess Steven Kwan too, kind of, the really good defender as well. But team led by Jose Ramirez and Steven Kwan. I feel like Jose, he's been doing good. I mean, coming off a 39 home run, 118 RBIs, pretty solid, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what they're going to rely on this year.
Yeah, that's the only guy they have. But great closer, Emmanuel Clase, one of the greatest closers right now in the MLB. But I feel like their starting rotation, you take out BB, there's nothing. You know, it's kind
Yeah.
of like very flat. It's not deep. So yeah, I don't know
But
where
if
this
you
team
kind of
is
look
going.
at it though,
Yeah.
too, though they got a bunch of guys on some 1 year deals, right? They got a couple right-handed pitchers. I think they got 4 of those. They got a left-handed, and even with Paul Sewald, I know that name. You know what I mean? He's not gonna be your ace, but at least he's gonna give you a couple quality wins. You know what I mean? Even Ortiz, like he's not gonna really do like amazing numbers, but he's gonna be a good glue guy. So that's kind of how I feel about the Guardians, is that they have a lot of guys, glue guys, that are able to kind of hold them together. I'm just wondering with Alex Cobb, Ellie Morgan, you know what I mean, even Miles Straw, those guys leaving, what that looks like. You know what I mean? Is that going to be enough continuity to continue to let them be successful?
They need Jose Ramirez to put up numbers like last year.
Yep.
Yeah, big.
They
Yeah,
did
he
win
almost had a
92.
40-40. You know
Yeah.
that?
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, he did. Yes,
He
he
almost
did.
had a 40-40. He was very, very close. So, I mean, I do like they're hitting though better than the aforementioned teams in his division. That's what I'll say.
Yes.
100%.
Right?
Yes, you can definitely rely on them for sure.
Yeah. And like Steve Kwan, he's hit bat like 290. Like he
Leadoff
like
hitter.
close to. So
Solid.
it's like at least you got people who can hit. I feel like you're right. After Bybee, who's really going to carry it? I guess Luis Ortiz. Let's see if he can be. I feel like that's the addition that they're looking at as like, let's see if he can do something to help us. But
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's all about the Royals.
it leaves us with the Royals. Yeah.
That's what it leaves us with. And it's like, okay, like, do we feel as though, you know what I mean, with Grossman coming in, you know what I mean, Jonathan India coming in, you know what I mean, even Joey, like Weimer, do we think that with these new additions, especially in the outfield and second base, do we feel as though, you know what I mean, the Royals are saying, this division is kind of open, we might have a chance? You know, they lose their first baseman, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
I feel like they have a very good rotation of the Kansas City Royals. Cole Reagan, Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha, Michael Lorenzen, who they re-signed.
Yes.
Those 4, I feel like, are pretty solid pieces, and I feel like Bobby Witt is only going to get better for the Royals, as he's a young... He played every game last year, guys. 161 games. This is his 3rd year, and he went 32-109 with a 3.32 batting average and a 9.77 OPS. 9.4 WAR, guys. I mean, this guy's second place MVP. Well, you can't beat that 58 home run Judge hit, but he's the reason why Judge couldn't get his triple crown this last year.
Yeah.
Bobby Witt.
No, I think that's like where talent is important and longevity, like Salvador Perez.
Yes.
Right? That catch, he been there how long? 15, 10, 15?
Yeah.
And as I was saying it earlier, like if you have like a veteran presence, like a catcher who's like a good ball club, like lead the ball club type guy, plus he's a good hitter. He's a great hitter for a catcher.
In the playoffs.
Yeah. So I do feel like we'll see Cole Reagan, Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha is a good 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I'm liking what I see here more. It's funny because I feel like we're all leaning the same way in this division. Because I feel like I was already leaning toward I'm looking at the odds like, okay, Minnesota plus 210, Detroit plus 230, Cleveland plus 300, Royals plus 310. I'm like, I like Royals at plus 310 money here. Like I like that. Like that's where I'm kind of leaning to. I feel like
I definitely like the Royals in this division for sure. I think the AL Central, there's going to be a lot of moving pieces. You know what I mean? It's not so solid like the AL East or even the NL West, where it's like, oh, okay, like guys are just going to be jockeying for position due to, you know, great baseball. I think the question is in the AL Central is who's going to be injured, which starting pitchers are going to actually be able to push through the noise, and which ones are going to kind of fall to the wayside. So I think with the Royals being at least young enough and having a little bit of swag, especially coming off of last year, I kind of like the Royals. What about you, YBK?
Yeah, I totally agree with what you said. I feel like my Bobby Witt Jr., he's going to be one of the top generational kind of talents out there. And he's coming off his 4th year. And the 3 years that he played in the MLB, this man played 150 plus each season. even including his rookie year. So he's only going to get better, and you see the drastic improvement from his batting average and his OPS, guys. We're going from a 254 batting average next year, 276, and then last year he did a 332. So Bobby Witt Jr. is just getting better and better, and with the power of that rotation, I got to say the bullpen isn't as strong as I would have wanted, but hopefully with the offense and the starting rotation, we can give some rest to the bullpen and not give too much usage over there. But they did get Jonathan India, which helps their defense there too. So that is one key piece that's different than last year. And Jonathan India, he played 151 games, so he can definitely bring that kind of difference kind of to the lineup as well, in my opinion. So I'm very excited for these Royals. I like that.
Yeah, I feel like I got to pencil myself in as Royals for AL Central.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. We're all with the Royals on this one.
I
think so. I feel like I almost wanted to just change my pick for the sake of it, but I'm not
everybody...
gonna lie. The only other team that I would be willing to is Guardians.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of what my other, like, if I have to say honorable mention, like, I say Guardians. Honestly, for the fun of it, you know what? Pencil me in for Guardians.
Guardians? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to repeat the Dodgers right now. No, let pencil me in for Guardians.
Okay.
Jose Ramirez for top 5 in MVP voting.
Woo!
Top seven.
Okay,
in
okay.
MVP voting.
Top 7. Sure.
He's been in top 10 many times, like all these years.
He definitely have.
He has been in top 10.
All right, let's
give me some room.
get it. We are going to the final division, the AL West, everybody, and they consist of AL West Astros, Mariners, Rangers, Athletics, and the Angels. And should we talk about these Astros first, guys?
This division?
Houston Astros.
It's a bit of a stinker.
Well, we got some other things we'll talk about. Our predictions for the AL, NL, MVP, things like that. So we'll speed through this one.
This is what I'll say.
We'll end it on a sour note.
This is what I'll say. I feel like we could talk, like we should look at Mariners, Rangers, and Astros, because I feel like it's pretty long shots for the Angels and Athletics. And let's just also make an asterisk for everyone to know that the Athletics don't have a city associated to their team anymore.
They're just
so it's
called
not
the
Oakland Athletics no more. It's just Athletics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's giving Washington.
And they're gonna play
team.
in Sacramento.
Yeah, craziness.
Weird.
So.
But yeah, that is kind of weird to have nothing in the beginning of your team. It's like you're just Athletics.
The American Athletics. That's all it is.
But yeah, the Houston Astros guys, they signed Christian Walker, who the Yankees kind of were looking into too for their first base in a 3-year deal. They got Isaac Paredes with that trade with the Cubbies for Kyle Tucker and Ben Gamel. But I feel like they lost a lot of players this offseason compared to how many they acquired this season. They lost Tucker, they lost Bregman, they lost Kikuchi, Verlander, Presley, Ferguson, Jason Hayward. And I mean, there's a lot of players, guys. And I feel like this definitely drops the value into this team in this AL West. And in my opinion, they're not going to be, because last year they were number 1, 88-73, and I don't see them doing the same thing they did last year. How do you guys feel about these Astros?
Not at all. I think they had their shot, and the war chest is empty at this point.
I think it's tough. You got teams on your heels. You got teams on your heels now.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for these Astros to keep on going. But I feel like one team that I want to say that's kind of in kind of like a hopeful side I want to talk about is the Rangers guys.
Okay.
These Rangers, they lost. I guess one of the biggest piece they lost was Nathaniel Lau when he went to the Nationals. But they got Jock Peterson, guys. So this is a big piece for the Rangers, and he brings that energy. And you even seen it from that press conference. He's like, "I'm here to win championships," kind of vibe. So. Even the Rangers coming off, they won a championship, like 2-3 years ago? So pretty recently, they re-signed Eovaldi. They got Berger trade, Higashioka, a few starters here. We got Patrick Corbin, coming off. He's kind of old, but, can bring that presence to the clubhouse. So I'm pretty excited about the Rangers if I was a Rangers fan for this year.
They still have the pieces and the skeletons of that World Series. I think a lot of it is kind of what we were talking about again, like putting all the pieces together. having the right bullpen that's going to sustain you throughout the year, having those big bats that are going to be able to get key hits in those moments. YBK, you understand how that feels with losing in the World Series. Your big bats just didn't come alive when they needed to come alive. And I think that's really what I think with the Rangers has always been their issue, is that they've always had great players. You know what I mean? You know that, again, YBK. You know you got your boy Alex Rodriguez from the Rangers. So they're able to create talent and have these things, but I think putting it all together year to year is very difficult.
Yeah.
It's not like one of those Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox organizations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's see if Gray comes back because he's hurt for a hot minute in that rotation. But let's not forget, Jacob deGrom is on that rotation too.
Yes, he is.
You don't know. Let's see. He's kind of needs to have a little bounce back in a way, but that infield is a really good infield.
Yes.
Jake Berger, Marcus Semien, Josh Jung, Corey Seager is a good infield. Like
Solid,
they have
bro.
a solid infield. And they all had they was all like a good hitters. No one has to be like a superstar hitter because everyone's a good hitter.
Yeah.
So I like the team all around. And I think, Sam, you highlighted like the acquisition of Jock Peterson is a great add to that to bolster that lineup. You know what I mean?
Yes. Adding him into cleanup, it'd be perfect because their offense is pretty good. I feel like it's almost in the level of like the Red Sox kind of lineup on paper, where you have Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Wyatt Langford, Jock Peterson, Adolis Garcia, Josh Jung. That 1 through 6 is pretty solid when healthy, and if everybody is, doing what they're doing, because that Langford, Peterson, Garcia kind of 3, 4, 5 is dangerous in the lineup. And I feel like if Marcus and Corey can get on base and do their job, rely on the 3, 4, 5 guys to bring him in, Rangers are looking like a great offensive team here. Yeah. And it's going to be looking cool in Globe Life Park for the Texas fans.
What about the chances that the Mariners stand here?
I was thinking about these Mariners. I was thinking about them the other day on how I really like the team, but I really want Julio Rodriguez to become that MVP type player that we all saw and kind of tasted a little.
He did take a step back last year for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Because I feel like Julio, even with that crazy contract that he signed, his what season was it? His first 2 years was crazy, and we're like, oh man, what this guy can do some damage here. But it was kind of a letdown of a season in 2024. But I want to also shout out the starting rotation for the Mariners.
Yes,
I feel like it has full potential, so much potential to be one of the greatest rotations in the American League, in my opinion. Because I mean, guys, you're talking about Luis Castillo, you're talking about Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Brian Wu. I'm a big fan of Brian Wu. He's a great pitcher. He even showed, numbers can show. Last year, he pitched 22 starts, 9-3 record with a 2.89.
Yep.
So give him a full 30-plus season kind of start and see how he does. And with the cast of Castillo and Gilbert, I feel like, and Bryce Miller, it's gonna be pretty strong.
Yeah, honestly, the pitchers have done what they should. Like, if you look at the win-loss record, it's like Crochet coming to the Sox, like I was saying earlier. It don't say it all. Gilbert was 9-12, but pitched 208 innings and had a 3.23 ERA. Like, 220 strikeouts. Like,
damn.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, sub-1 whip. So it's like, we talking about, I feel like when you have 22 quality starts and you're 9-12, you just need, if Julio Rodriguez is MVP level, that's literally the difference. Julio Rodriguez hitting 20 home runs and 58 ribbies and batting 270 or whatever he bat this last year. If he bats 290, 300, 30, 35 home runs, 100 ribbies, you know what I'm saying? It will make a big difference too. And shout out to their catcher Cal Raleigh, because he kind of popped off last year too. 34 home runs, 100 ribbies. So
34 home runs, crazy.
Not bad. So
That's crazy.
How are we feeling on this division? I mean, this is our last division that we have to pick. I feel like this one we might have some I feel like it's a hard one to pick a little bit.
I'm gonna go first then.
All right, go do your thing.
I'm gonna choose the Mariners here, AL West, because I feel like they have full of potential, and we're just waiting for that to pop. You know,
I like it.
That.
I like it too.
All right.
All right, okay. Thinking the Rangers.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? I think that there might be some hotness coming out in Texas. You know, so I feel good. So yeah, I think I like the Rangers this year out of coming out the AL West.
Okay. I like that.
What are we thinking?
I'm like torn between right here. Like I'm really torn between going with the Astros, who have kind of owned the division for a long time, and going with them Mariners, because I like the Mariners. Like I like their pitching, and I feel like they'll be better. So I think I'm gonna lean toward the Mariners.
Let's do it.
I just like that rotation. I like that rotation.
I like that too. And if Julio Rodriguez, if you're listening, bro, in your contract, if you get some top 10 votes here, you're going to get a lot of money. So wake up, help your team, and get that money.
For real.
Please, let's get it. Come on. I'm sure the Mariners are saying the same thing. Come on, you got that paycheck.
All right.
All right, I love it.
So I feel like we got one more segment here and another thing before we go. It's been a little bit here. We're going on for a little bit. But let's do some early predictions on what we think who's going to take these awards here. Just two awards, you know. We're going to do the MVP, both American League and National League, and the Cy Young. And then we're going to do an early World Series matchup. Who's going to be there and who's going to win. And we'll close it out. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, let's go. Let's go, Camden.
My boy, Shohei Ohtani.
NL MVP?
NL MVP.
Woo!
Winning 15 games with 40 home runs.
Damn.
Maybe 12 games, but I think he's going to win double-digit wins.
40 home runs?
40 home runs. I don't think he's going to pitch till the summer, but I think he'll get some quality wins.
Who's your American League MVP?
For my American League MVP, I'm going Alex Bregman.
Wow!
I'm going with Alex Bregman for the Sox.
Let's go.
Wow!
That's
amazing.
I'm feeling Bregman as my guy.
Oh my goodness. All right, I like that.
For my Cy Young.
Okay.
I think with the National League,
I
think I'm gonna take Scuba.
Who?
Tariq Scuba.
No. He's in the American League.
He's in American. Oh, then I'm
he's a
taking him
Tiger.
in the American League.
Okay. American League. Gotcha.
I got him. And then
He gonna win back to back? You think, Scooble?
I think Scuba's winning.
Ooh.
I'm thinking he's winning back to back.
Okay.
For my National League, guys, I'm having trouble with my National League. I'm gonna be honest. All right, I'm gonna just do it. I'm thinking Holmes. I'm thinking
Clay Holmes.
I'm thinking Clay Holmes.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. I like
Crazy,
that.
bro.
I like that though. Okay.
Clay. I'm thinking Clay.
All right. The final one, David. You got the World Series matchup and winner.
Gonna be the Los Angeles Dodgers versus the Boston
Whoa.
Red Sox. You already know what it is, playboy.
Who's the winner?
Yeah.
The winner is.
The Dodgers.
Oh, the back-to-back! Oh!
I think Bregman wins the MVP, but
Wow.
it's soiled with the Dodgers winning back-to-back.
Wow, I like that a lot. All right. That was spicy, right? That's some spicy prediction
Well,
right
that's why
there.
it took me so long. I'm sorry, guys.
Ooh.
I was really thinking. I was pulling the
Oh.
cats out the bag. I didn't want to go with the regular schmegalers. You know what I mean?
Yep. Okay.
I got you.
All right, Mikey, let's get it.
I'm ready.
National
I
League
know everyone's
MVP.
gonna say. I know everyone's gonna say Shohei is winning the NL MVP.
Yep.
But I think that the biggest offseason signing, Juan Soto, is
Wow, the
ready for his
Mets.
first MVP. You know what I mean? Shohei tweaks that elbow because someone hits the ball and it bounces and it hits his elbow in one of those starts.
You ain't right.
He gonna miss something. Something gonna happen. Juan Soto,
Wow.
40 home runs, 300. Yeah, I think that he's got it.
All right.
AL Cy Young.
AL
Also
MVP.
AL
AL
MVP. MVP.
Sorry. I'm saying Cy Young already. AL MVP.
Let's go.
I know that Judge has the capability of easily blasting 50, but I'm going Bobby Witt Jr.
Wow.
I think Bobby Witt might hit over 330 again. I think he'll break 30 home runs again. I think he'll break 100 ribbies again. And then if they win the division, easy. I mean, I think that this is, you know what I mean? He's going to lead he'll lead win above replacements. I think this is easy for me. I think that Bobby Witt got his first one this year.
Wow.
All right.
I like that though. All right, let's get it. Cy Young. Let's go, Mikey.
It's Cy Young, actually.
All right. For AL, I was thinking to go with, my first gut was Jacob deGrom to have a big bounce back year.
Oh,
but you know
Rangers?
what?
Yep.
I'm going with the Red Sox new ace pitcher, Garrett Crochet. to
Garrett
win
Crochet.
Cy Young this year.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Dang.
Yep.
I like
And
these
then-
choices.
In NL,
Yep.
I know everyone think it's going to be Paul Skeens.
Paul Skeens.
We know everyone thinks it's going to be Paul Skeens, but you know who's going to win the NL Cy Young?
Who? Who you got?
The guy that the Red Sox should have signed, Corbin Burns.
Oh, I see. Diamondbacks.
That's who I
Okay.
got. Can I
Ooh.
also sprinkle in that I know it's not part of our picks that we're doing for yearly awards, but I think Acuna will be comeback player of the year this year.
Oh, okay.
All right, that makes sense. I can see
I
that.
do think so.
I can see that. Who you got? In the
World Series matchup winner. Let's go.
World Series matchup. The Dodgers are not going back to back
Woo!
because the Atlanta Braves is going to the
wow.
World Series.
No
What?
way.
Yeah, the Atlanta Braves is going to the World
Who
Series.
they
bro.
versus? Who they taking on?
They're gonna play a representative from the AL East. Is it the Red Sox? Is it the Orioles? Is it the Yankees? It's the Red Sox.
Oh wow,
Come on, baby.
Okay.
Atlanta Braves, the Red Sox in the World Series, and the Red Sox are your next World Series champion.
Wow, the Sox take the chip.
I have to do it. I can't. What do you want me to pick the Astros?
You're right. You're right.
Astros?
No.
Sox is winning the chip.
I'm not picking my division. That's for sure.
Okay,
I'm not picking
okay.
a division rival.
Damn, I love it. All right.
I know you've been waiting for this segment, Sam. So set it off, bro.
Let's do it. We're doing it. NL MVP. Hate to say it. Mr. Shohei Ohtani about to win it one more time. I mean, this guy. I mean, I'm so happy he left to the National League team because it was always a question of he's going to block Judge to win MVP every year if he's going to pitch and hit at the same time.
So,
So I'm happy he left. So if he's going to pitch this year, Mr. Shohei Ohtani, if not, if he's going to show us another 50-50, he's going to definitely get this NL MVP. Mr. Shohei Ohtani, National League MVP. And you already know, it's getting kind of boring, but, you know, you can't. The captain, New York Yankees, about to win another one.
Run it back.
I feel like Judgy should have a triple crown. I feel like he deserves one. Because, I mean, Bobby Witt is only going to get better, as I always said in this episode, but I want a nice triple crown from Mr. Aaron Judge.
all right.
And we going to the National League Cy Young Award winner. I know we said that. Everybody will think this player's going to win it, but I'm going to take it. Mr. Paul Skeens is about to take his first Cy Young as a Pittsburgh Pirate. He really wants his rookie card, but he can't get it. It got sold for $1.1 million. And I'm going AL Cy Young Award winner. I'm going to go with our fresh Yankee. Mr. Max Fried is about to win his
What?
Cy Young Reward winner, champion, pitching champion, Max Fried. Let's go.
All right.
And let's go.
I like it.
And what we've all been waiting for.
World
Who do you
Series
got?
matchup and winner, everybody.
Series matchup, playboy.
I'm going to go revenge match. Yankee Dodgers. And of course, the Yankees about to get the 2025 World Series champion, everybody! I love it. These
I'm
early
surprised.
predictions are
No
nice.
way. No way.
Yes,
I think that
sir.
you guys might have the rookie of the year too.
Oh, we forgot the rookie of the year, huh?
No, I think you guys might have him, the Yanks.
have
I
him.
think Dominguez.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Oh,
I'm
you
looking,
think so,
I'm
Jason?
looking at this name of players that I'm like, I think Dominguez got it. I
Yeah.
do.
He has to show up. I mean,
Yeah.
he had big hype because his first at-bat, guys, was against the Astros, against Justin Verlander, and he hit a bomb off Verlander, his first at-bat. And everybody was like, what? Like, how does a rookie hit off Cy Young? But, yeah, it would be cool if Jason, a back-to-back Yankee rookie of the year would be kind of cool to watch, too.
Yeah. And then Roki Sasaki's got it out.
Oh, yeah,
out
definitely.
National League, I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
He's gonna. His rookie card, 1 of 1, might be going crazy if he does well this year. You know what I mean? For the next, because I don't think the 2025 Topps has Sasaki yet, right?
It won't. No, it won't
It's
come
the
out
next
until
one.
the next.
The Series 2. And we know that Mikey and MSD going to buy some packs. You know what I mean? Trying to get that Sasaki rookie patch.
Listen,
Yep.
Yes,
retire
sir.
early. Never know.
Yes, sir. All right, man. It's been a minute, and hopefully, you guys listening, still listening. You know what I'm saying? It's been a great episode here about MLB. We got MLB starting on the 27th, March 27th. Yankees Brewers play 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern, or is it the other way around? I think it's the other way around. 9 o'clock Pacific, 12 o'clock Eastern.
There we go.
But yeah, we're starting Thursday, so YBK's pretty happy that MLB's back. Off season went pretty relatively quickly, but yeah. In the next pod, I feel like we're gonna, talk about some more sports, some news. We already got you with the next latest and greatest.
Well, we got a little bit of madness going on.
Oh,
we might have to. We gonna catch y'all up on the madness, and I got a little UFC talk to come at y'all with.
Oh, you already know.
We got a big card coming up. Yeah, so we got some good stuff to talk about. NBA as well. So
yep, NBA. I mean, what we got, like 18 games left. We're coming down the wire. Even smaller. It's crazy. But yeah, let's get it, guys. I can't wait to talk about the other sports, and especially NBA playoffs coming soon. Oh,
Can you believe it? Episode 25. We've had 25 episodes.
Crazy. You can legit have a nice scroll down in our MSD, and you can just randomly choose an episode if you want.
Binge listen. You already know.
Yes, sir. RCR Presents MSD Sports. Like what Cam said, this was episode 25. My name is Sam, also known as YBK. You can find me at YBK up in here. We got Mikey. You can find him at Michael John DeStefano. We got Camden over here. You can find him at Mr. Club Paradise. And you can find us at RCR MSD Sports. We are on Instagram, YouTube, podcast, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. You know it. And we'll see you guys on the next pod. Peace!